I agree 100%. We want to get those wait time lists down as fast as we can. We're working very closely with the Healthcare Wait Times Alliance and making sure that we achieve those standards. The problem is we have to find doctors and neurologists from probably other parts of Canada, other parts of the world, so that we can hire more people, as well as training more neurologists here in the province, so that we can have the people that can deal with the Albertans that need those services as well. So I think over the next while we will continue to grow in those areas to make sure that we have the services available. We have great doctors that are doing their job right now in those areas, but they can't meet all of the needs that we have as a society here in Alberta. So what we have to do is expand that so that we're going to be set for the future. Thank you very much.
There's one thing I know about this government. They have no idea what to do with healthcare. They created 9 regions in the late 90s. They blew them up in 2008. Now they're going back to regions in 2014. They privatized the hospital lab up here in the 80s. They realized it was costing them more, so they brought it back under the public system for a significant increase in cost. They do not know what they're doing. They put people into power that are politicians, such as Mr. Liepert in 2008, who just decided we should run this system like Ford Motor Company. Let's blow up the system, create a super board, and we'll be able to manage much more efficiently, and we'll hold people to the budgets, and somehow we'll make a better system. Well, I'm sorry. Now we're seeing the chaos that's created throughout the system over the last 8 years, and they're realizing that we have to keep many more of the decisions closer to the level of where people are being served. We have to put patients and families first. We have to focus on communities instead of hospitals and doctors. We have to work towards a preventive orientation in this system, where we're going to continue to see too many people trying to see specialists that wouldn't need to see a specialist if they got the primary care in the community, got the preventive services in the community, and had a government that actually respected the frontline workers and listened to them when they said, this will not work. Instead, they ignore all the experts and the evidence around the world and blow up the system. And then now we have a new minister who also has no background in medicine, and is going to change it again. It's time again.
As you all heard, Ron Jean last week introduced a wait time guarantee program. That wait time guarantee program allows people to know exactly how long it will take to get a particular procedure, and if the procedure is not available to them, they have the luxury to be able to move to another facility and have that done for them as well. Now, one of the things that came out of that statement by members of the parties next to us is that we are disobeying the Canada Health Act. No, we are working within the Canada Health Act. And secondly, we are not talking about privatization. What we are talking about is taking the money with the patient to a facility that will provide them the service that they need, and they need desperately. Thank you.
We're getting close to closing time at 9 o'clock, and just like to make one brief announcement. Do we have the box? We don't have a hat, but we do have a box. We just like to pass it around if anybody wants to make a donation to cover our expenses. We would greatly appreciate it.
We're doing a PC party. If they need all the money,
No, this is going to. Well, this is going to the Calgary Leadership Board to pay our expenses. So if anybody wants to make a donation, please pass it around, and we will follow up from there.
We're all volunteers.
We're all volunteers. Now, within the context of the closing, it's in reverse order, and it's for 3 minutes. So you'll have an opportunity to hear what the candidates have to say. We've tried to get to as many questions as possible and to vary the questions. And I think that you've seen the variety of questions that are posed to the candidates, and at the same time see their abilities by watching and hearing their answers. So Terry, I'd like you to lead off with your closing statement.
Thank you, and thanks once again for coming out to tonight's event. Before I go to my closing remarks, I just want to make a couple of comments, and that is with regards to statements that have been made relative to law rules. Some of the things that law rules has done in the past in terms of approving or disapproving certain legislation is not because the initiative was wrong, but rather the legislation wasn't written right. So we talk about the history of Alliance, what was proposed by Lloyd Lincoln last fall. That was a situation where the legislation was not quite right. What was wrong? Okay. Respecting choice. Restricting parental choice in the lives of children. So, moving forward, one of the things that I will say is that during the time I worked for the city, a lot of the things that we dealt with, as I said before, is about public outcome. Public outcome through citizen engagement. Citizens in Calgary when you look out the street, they see the roadways, they see garbage pickup, they see the street lights. These are the things that are often provided by the city. But often you ask the question, what is it the province provides to you? If you look up the street, it's hard to say what the province provides. You have to look at, again, inside your wallets for your driver's license or for an Alberta health card. The most important thing that we want to be able to do is to enable local governments, municipalities, education, schools, hospitals, to be able to do the things that are right in the local jurisdiction. That's the responsibility of the province to be able to give the authority, to give the rights, to give the funding, so that municipalities can carry out the things that are necessary in hospitals and schools, things that are necessary to local constituents. The Waterworld's Party also believes that, again, the choice is yours. The respect of individuals, the monies you earn are monies that you should be keeping. The children are your rights and responsibility to protect and to educate, to be able to deal with the healthcare situation the way you choose to do. In closing, I guess in terms of where myself, as I mentioned before, I've got a 30-year career in public administration. I understand what it takes to run an organization, what it takes to improve an organization, what it takes to represent constituents. To that end, I'd like to suggest that, again, you vote for me on May 5th. Thank you.
I want to add my thanks to all of you for taking time to listen, to raise questions, to seriously take our democracy. Our democracy is broken in this province. The last election we had 57% vote, the previous one was 40% voted, and many people are cynical about the whole political process now because of the 44-year power brokers in Edmonton. The BC government has blown our entire resource revenue in one generation. They've saved nothing. They now have no plan for actually getting us off that. And there are three reasons why they will not get us off this oil and gas roller coaster. Over 300 agencies, boards, and commissions, hand appointed by this BC government and paid for by the public purse. They are almost all PCs, and they donate back to the Tory party. Secondly, contractors, major contractors that build things for us in this province, they're strongly connected to the Tories. Many of them have been untendered contracts, as you've heard in many of the debates, and Mr. Prentice promises to stop any untendered contracts. Good for him. But many of these big contractors and maintainers also donate back to the Tory party. 15 pages of donors in the last Elections Alberta listing. If you want to go to Elections Alberta and see who's donating to the Tory party, you'll see all the major corporations. Thirdly, all the bureaucracy in the 20 departments of government. Many of them owe their jobs to the PCs. Very difficult for them to think about voting or donating differently. This is an unparalleled juggernaut. And unless people take seriously what we're leaving to our children and our future and vote and get involved in the election system, change this government, please, it's time for change.
Folks, thank you very much for coming out tonight. It's really great to be here. It's a great honor to sit with the other three candidates and have a chance to have this debate. This is what it's all about, and I'm so glad to have this chance, so thank you very much. The other parties would have you believe that we live in a terrible place. Fear-mongering with no plan to make sure we meet all the needs of all Albertans and making it work. It's so important to keep the balance and making it work right. Our party has certainly struck the right balance, and I believe our plan, when you compare it to the others, is the one that's responsible, accountable, and realistic going forward to make sure that we keep this economy moving in the right direction. One constituent I met at the doors was living in Panama for 11 years with her family. Kids were starting to get a little older, and they were stuck in one. They were moving back to Canada and wanted to decide where to move to. So she did her research and looked at Canada and did her Googling and looked across Canada where she would want to move. She went into 5 major categories that worked for her. I don't know exactly all of them, but healthcare, education, jobs, economy, where's the best, safest places to live. Calgary came up as the #1 place to live in Canada 5 times in a row for her. She said, there's no question for me where I want to live. I have to live in Calgary, and that's why I moved back here and brought my family so I could raise it in the best place in Canada to live. So fortunate. She took a sign. I was very happy about that, but she did, that's what she wanted to do. And she was very happy with what her choices would be and has the confidence to raise her family in the best place in Canada to live. And I'm honored to be a part of that as well. You have a choice to make on Tuesday, May 5th. And I believe Calgary Mountain View residents will choose a future with healthy growth, prosperity for their province, and a future for their children. Compare and read the plans, you'll see which one's responsible and accountable, and the best choice for Albertans. Thank you very much.
Again, thank you all for coming out, and thanks to our moderator and the Foundation for sponsoring the event. Friends, in 1971, believe it or not, I was but a stripling high school student. And in that time, in 1971, a guy by the name of Peter Lougheed and 6 other really progressive conservatives were the opposition to a mighty social credit board. And nobody, but nobody, thought they could ever defeat that social credit board. And lo and behold, on the day after the election, everybody looked around. Did you vote for it? Did you vote for it? Well, somebody did. Later, I got the opportunity as a reporter, because before I became an academic, I was a journalist. And I got to interview Peter Lougheed. A finer man never existed. I say that as a Democrat about a Tory. He was a great man. And I said, did you expect to win? And he said, certainly not in 71. I thought it would take another election. But you know, if you dream it, if you believe it, you can make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, you can make it happen. All of the polls, all of the pundits say, right now is the moment.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard from the 4 candidates in Mountain View. I think it's been a very productive debate. I think it's been an informative debate. And now it's up to you to make a decision on Tuesday, May the 5th. Good luck in making your decision, and thank you for participating in this Democratic Forum. Thank you and good night. We're going to be